outcomes. Deadly to who? Deadly to us.
All right, but we also...
Hold up, let me just finish this one, Bam, hold up. What I'm saying is we need to call that out in our prophetic voice and be angry and outraged. And at the same time, we need to talk about how that sin, that we resent other people, that we don't like other people, that we're different than other people, is a disease that we all share. And that, I think that's not more real.
Because we've been taught that.
It's a better conversation about what's real about it.
I agree with you, but that's because we have been taught that. And as we call out that form, we have to call out the self-hatred, that living under that constant pressure of the color of your skin denoting your character, your being, your behavior, you as a black man, your behavior, me as a black woman, whether we can be accomplished or not. We have to call it out when it affects us. How dare a black man shoot another black man in the street because he owes him $10 on some drugs? How dare a young black man get a young girl pregnant with no sense of how he's going to take care of her? That's because he's been taught, as every other ethnic group, I don't care where you are, Asians coming to America, have been taught that they're better than blacks by the conqueror. And so we have to address the conqueror, and we have to address those who are conquered, who continue to permeate the myth.
Hi, I'm Gumdrop the Elf. Us guys up north want to remind you of just how the gift buying process works. If you're buying for someone nice, go to your nearby Radio Shack and get them something like an MP3 player like
So long to give this to say about the military. I don't know what they're doing now. Okay, but let me tell you about the military. Did it work? I was a part of that. Now, I'm wondering if it worked, because let me tell you why I asked. It worked then. I don't know what they're doing now. Okay, I'm wondering if it worked and how sincere they were. Because we had two people walking down the street in a military town in the 90s, early 90s. This was a 70s. Killed. This is in the 90s. Killed a black man, black woman, both in the military. In the military, another branch.
But that's true. But here's the first of all, I want to thank.
We were trying. See, I was a part of it.
For the comment, but I think we need to look at part of what's difficult is in this kind of situation is that it is hard to acknowledge significant shifts of a big thing when a whole bunch of stuff ain't shifted. So the example you just mentioned, Bev, of course that's true. And of course, people still get essentially lynched. That happens. But what she's talking about is why...
I have to interfere. We have to start at a small... You both are saying the same thing. Mickey, he's agreeing with you. Listen to what he's saying. He's agreeing with you.
Is that, first of all, I want to acknowledge that the military is widely regarded by people who study race relations not as some incredible example of nirvana, but as historically over the last 50 years, a forward-thinking institution which made progress. Why did it make progress? Because one of the things it did was change the norms in our society, at least in that institution.
Because of Harry Truman changing the way it was going down.
Right. But what I'm trying to lay out is the fact that if we're going to make progress on race relations, we have to establish norms from leadership that the level of discrimination and inequity is those norms.
But we had different levels of leadership in that. You're both saying different levels of that leadership.
I'm agreeing with you.
He's agreeing with you, Mickey.
One, you got to fight it at a level of human to human contact. That's important. You also have to establish norms from leaders that certain ways of looking at things are important, but you have to do more than that. You have to actually have people see something closer to equality. And if you don't do all three of those things, you're not going to move institutions forward. But when I'm trying to help institutions, corporations, companies, whatever, I try to remind people that we have to have a holistic view of what it means to make progress. Diversity dinners are not going to do it.
Hey, that's my point. But here's what he's saying, Mickey. I'm the one who is the but person. But what about? He's saying, in essence, what you say. That let me just deal with the Marines because I was their sweetheart for many times down in Jacksonville, Florida. And I can talk to you about black Marines who had graduated with PhDs and who worked the kitchen duty because of racism. Did they move from that? Yes, they have. Are there many opportunities in the Marines for officers? My uncle is a leading example of that. But is it better for black soldiers? Not necessarily. So what he's saying is that as I look at the not necessarily, I have to look at it has made progress, which is what I have a difficult time doing. Because I don't see two folks as making progress. I don't see the fact that we're still the highest unemployed because of simply the color of our skin. I can't see that as making progress. And it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say, because we have to hold on. I've got mercy lights out there to keep it bright. I'm as mad as hell. I'm as mad as hell. And somebody's going to answer to that.